Good evening. Let me make two things clear immediately. The first is that there is no such thing as a boss of Helene's. One of my prouder moments was convincing Helene to come as the CEO of CARE, and I think our partnership has been absolutely wonderful. I have learned a great deal. I am better because of it, but I've also learned that perhaps sometime around the time she was 5, Helene stopped having bosses. The second thing I want to say is that I'm in no way concerned to be called Ben Cutter. Ben Heineman and I have known each other for damn near 50 years. We've been close friends that entire time. I worked for his father for years, so it's with great pride that I'll take that as a second name. Above all, thank you very much. This means an enormous amount to me, and it means a lot to me that Helene would take the time from an unbelievable schedule to join me. Helene and I email a lot. We tend to do it at 4 and 5 in the morning, and the difference being that Helene's, when I say, where are you? It's never here, believe me. So what I want to say above all, although I'm going to say some other things, is that I'm really delighted to receive this. But I'm more delighted to have been part of the CED for so long. You know that when you work with a group of great colleagues, such as CED and its staff and its trustees, and there's no way to mention everyone, but it's important to mention some, to Charlie, whose leadership at the CED and whose personal advice and friendship to me has been enormously important, to Rod Hills, who's not here tonight, but who was co-chair with me a while ago and is a dear friend, to Bill Lewis, who was part of reintroducing me to the CED years ago, and who may not remember this, but almost to the day 46 years ago, invited a real country bumpkin to have drinks at New College, Oxford. But above all, to Joe and to Don. I think you've been extraordinary chairs, and it's been a delight to serve under you in your co-chairmanships. What I want to do for the remainder of my remarks, which you can think of as the lament of a passionate moderate, is to make 7 points, 2 calls to action, and introduce you to my brother Otis. 1. And it's 7 because I'm told that that's the maximum that anybody over 40 can remember, but this is an extraordinary group, and so maybe we can do it. Our political system is more polarized than it's been in decades. This is not old man dyspeptic opinion. It's just the way it is. In 1949, about 50% of both the House and the Senate were moderates. Today, by exactly the same measures, the number is 10%. And that measure was taken before the November elections. 2, polarization begets more polarization. Again, this isn't just an opinion. This is the way groups develop and evolve. But the effect in the real world, in our world, is that the ends of our political spectrum just don't have today different views about the same agenda. They have almost completely different agendas. Watch over this lame duck session. 3rd, at the same time that this polarization is happening within the parties in America, Americans are leaving the 2 main political parties in droves. Basically today, we are a third, Republicans, Democrats, and independents. And the trend is toward the independents. 4th, while polarization intensifies, it is simultaneously more and more clear that there is not a single major issue that we face as a nation that can be solved by either pole of the political spectrum. Charlie and I have talked about this for years. Take right now and the budget problem. A presidential commission and a separate advisory group of which our senior vice president, Joe Minerick, was a member, both bipartisan, have recently reported. You don't have to like everything in the reports, but both issued sensible centrist reports. Both were pretty tough. You can favor one or the other, but the ingredients for a solution, it's clear, are there. And what's happened is that both parties have more or less flatly rejected them as solutions. And there's no major central force that can support these initiatives. I'm not going to bore you with a similar recital for 10 other issues. 5, the dilemma, therefore, is that while Americans are absolutely nowhere near as extreme as their parties, there's also no way to mobilize around centrist solutions to big problems. 6, and ultimately I bring in here the big gun, Pete Peterson, business really should be the natural balance wheel. Just think of the immense skills of those we honor tonight. Jim, thank you for your comments. And I'm proud to be part of this group of honorees, but I have sat on your side of the mic and listened with real awe as major business leaders have talked about their passion for excellence in their organizations. Just think of those immense skills and think about those applied to the questions, to the issues of public policy. But I'm afraid to say that business has essentially been absent. Whether it's our fiscal health or health care or trade or money in politics, the broad voice of business leaders isn't here. A few years ago, Pete Peterson, CED's senior trustee, asked in a very well-known article, where is the business leadership? Well, Pete, it's even more absent now, and it's even more needed today. And finally, 7, all of this brings me to my own conclusion, which is that on the range of problems we face, we will not come to centrist solutions that are achievable unless the business community steps out. So what do we do? What I want to do is give you a short-run call to action, a longer-run call to action, and introduce you to my brother Otis. The short run is that we can act now. We don't have to wait till the world gets better. We don't have to wait till it's more convenient to be involved in public policy. The business community can come together now on a balanced view of how to solve our debt and deficit problem. So sign the CED Statement of Fiscal Health Principles tonight. If you don't know how to do it, get in touch with me, with Don, with Joe, with Charlie, with Joe Minerick. Help us use your network to get others. Give us advice and take our phone calls when we need help.